Yo dudes!
Welcome to Chickpea 3 Ways. 3 amazing ways to use your chickpeas.
So in a world where most people are fiber deficient, we all need to eat more fiber. Fiber will help your immune system, your brain health, your heart health. These are cheap, these are affordable. And
Well, chickpeas are such a great source of fiber. You forgot to say that. They've got about 12 grams of fiber, 15 grams of protein, and they're the lowest carbon footprint of all proteins. They are amazing. We're going to show you 3 simple ways. Obviously, there's a million ways which you can use chickpea, and these are 3 of our favorites. So welcome aboard. Let us know in the comments what you like to do with chickpeas, because we would like to create a conversation to use more chickpeas because they are amazing. Okay, so first recipe we're going to start with is the chickpea tuna salad, which is really cool. It's got 15...
And we did say chickpea and tuna in the same word.
Yes, we did. It's got 15 grams of protein and 12 grams of fiber. It's got folate and zinc and loads of good stuff, and it's really easy to make.
And genuinely tastes great. Okay, so what we're gonna do, first step is take our chickpeas. We've drained and rinsed one 400-gram tin of chickpeas.
Which is 12 ounces, or 16 ounces, I think.
Good job.
Oh, maybe it's 14
Dave's
ounces.
learning how to speak American.
Yeah, I'm learning how to speak American, yeah. Obviously, with chickpeas, you've got to mash them and kind of hide the fact that they're chickpeas or garbanzos.
Take your red onion, we're gonna finely dice it. Alongside that, I have 2 gherkins. Obviously, if you don't like it, but that pickle is just nice, brings that bit of acidity to this dish. If you like gherkins, go with loads. If you like less, obviously go with less.
Yeah, gherkin is just a pickled cucumber.
It is the most widely pickled thing in the world, and it's the most widely discarded pickle of the world. 1 clove of garlic, finely dice it so it distributes evenly throughout the dish. Okay, what are we using for this salty, like, because, you know, tuna comes from the sea and salt
So we're using a simple ground up seaweed. So we're using ground up nori. We're going to add a teaspoon of this.
Oh, wow.
Simple ground up nori flakes. So what you could do is get, you know, typical sushi sheets and blend them up in a blender. You could use that. We've got a green nori here, which is...
So 1 teaspoon of that. And then we're going to go with some capers. So capers obviously don't grow in the sea, they grow in a bush. But they add a lovely salty kind of bite and explosion of flavour. It's like a balance between salt and acidic. So we went with about 2 tablespoons of capers. In on top of the rest of this, we have half red onion, 2 gherkins, and 1 clove of garlic.
We've got, obviously this is a tuna salad, so we've got 150 grams or mil of vegan mayo.
Oh, nice.
And we've got a recipe here if you want to make your own vegan mayo. Or use store-bought, whatever's easiest.
And then we have 2 green onions, also known as scallions.
And then a little bit of salt.
And
then obviously...
Dijon mustard.
Oh yeah, Dijon mustard, oh, very important, yeah. So I guess it is the blend of the kind of the mustardy taste, the acidity from the gherkin, the nori flakes, and the capers. This is kind of what creates this seaweed-like taste, really. So we got 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, or whatever mustard you can find.
Generous pinch of salt. And you'd be skeptical looking at this, be going, chickpea tuna, but this is delicious. And
yeah, it really is.
Okay, cool. So in terms of serving this, we have some toasted sourdough baguette, and Dave actually just before this went up and harvested some baby gem lettuce from the farm.
This is a beautiful one for gluten-free options and just for simple kind of, you know, they do look very pretty on a plate just to...
In summer, often people like lighter foods, and this is just a lovely kind of nice, light alternative way to serve it.
It's almost like the equivalent of a banana leaf, if you know what I mean. Sometimes banana leaves are used as biodegradable plates.
Nice little way of just getting a pop of colour and just giving it an extra little dimension, little sprinkle of chilli along the top.
Very tasty. The mustard goes very well with the capers, and it goes very well with the mayonnaise, and the whole thing kind of works together beautifully. It's really nice, symbiotic. It does taste like it brings me back to my childhood days of eating tuna.
Second chickpea dish we're going to make is toasted chickpeas, which might sound very simple, but what it does, one of the keys to great cooking is to introduce texture. This is crunchy, this is umami, this is savory, this is magnificent.
And we're going to show you how we use this to level up our hummus. So if you want to make your own hummus, here is a hummus video right here. If you want to make it from scratch, we're going to use our own Happy hummus, which we literally make tons of every week. And we're going to show you how to use that as a base
to make a hummus meze plate. So into a bowl, we're going to take our 400 grams of drained chickpeas.
We're going to go in with a nice pinch of salt.
A little bit of tamari, that's about approximately 1 tablespoon. Generous.
And in case you don't have tamari, you could just use soy sauce.
About a tablespoon of oil, that'll just enable more caramelization. We're going to go with some smoked paprika to bring just that nice kind of smoky, oxtaily umami note. A little bit of chili.
Little bit of chili. Obviously adapt this to your own flavors. And a little bit of garlic powder. Garlic powder does add a subtle kind of another flavor to it. And simply take a fork and mix it all together.
And we're going to pop that into either the air fryer for 15 minutes or else in the oven preheated to 200 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes until crispy. Okay, while they're in the oven, we're going to prepare our hummus plates. So we're using just our own Happy hummus. We're going to pop in 3 tubs because this is going to be like...
So about 450 grams of hummus. You know, approximately whatever you have, really. You can make this work with 200 grams, 400 grams. It doesn't really matter. But really, what we're celebrating here is the crispy chickpeas and how they're going to elevate this and just really how to serve this and level it up. We're very excited to share with you that our Happy hummus is now available in most of the UK via Cado and obviously in Ireland in SuperValu and Centra.
So I'm going to smear this out just to make a little bit of a bowl, and in that bowl I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of cucumber. That's going to bring a nice juiciness. A few tomatoes. Take a little bit of coriander. Salt will help bring out the natural glutamates in the tomato and just make it all taste more balanced.
Glutamates. Oh, Mr. Flynn, you're so smart.
Drizzle of oil. So a little bit of pickle. If you do have any sauerkraut, I think sauerkraut just gives it a little bit of pop of colour.
And then finally, to level them up, we have our toasted chickpeas. So these are still nice and crispy and warm.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. And they're going to bring like an absolute pop of flavour. Like they're salty, they're umami, they're spicy, and they're crispy.
So that's our second chickpea recipe done. Okay, so the third one is the most fun one. So obviously we have used a number of tins of chickpeas so far, and this time we're using aquafaba, which is
What's aquafaba, Dave?
Great question, Steve. Aquafaba is chickpea juice.
Bean water.
Yeah, bean water. It's
fava
not
bean.
Actually what we, it's not chickpea juice because we don't blend the chickpeas, but it's the water that they're soaking in. So we've got the full liquid from a 400 gram tin, so a 14 ounce tin.
So it's approximately 150 mil, and it goes into a bowl and take...
Oh, but I forgot to tell them what we're doing. We are making a chocolate mousse, an incredible chocolate mousse, which is amazing.
It's light, it's fluffy, and uses chickpea water. So take an electric whisk on your marks. Get set. Go! So what we're trying to do here is to really aerate the aquafaba and almost double, triple in volume until we get stiff peaks. Okay, once we reach soft peaks, so soft peaks are they'll little bit hold, we're gonna add in 20 grams of caster sugar. This is gonna sweeten it. It's also just gonna help create a little bit more body.
Boom. So you can see the way it has literally tripled in size. It's got lovely.
Ooh, we got some nice peaks there.
Nearly
nice
stiff peaks.
They're like, nice, they're holding their shape.
So we have melted, how much chocolate we melted?
200 grams of dark chocolate. We went with 65% cocoa solid.
So we're gonna add this.
Slowly add that in, make sure to avoid any water going in. And just to enrich our chocolate mousse, we're gonna go with 75 ml of sunflower oil. What this is gonna do is it's gonna prevent it going too hard, and it's also gonna create that lovely just bit of space and make this rich, decadent, delicious chocolate mousse. I'm gonna take my spatula, I'm just gonna slowly fold the chocolate and the oil through it. Because I wanna keep this light, and sometimes when I go through it with the whisk for too long, I'm gonna end up with this kind of dense, really thick chocolate mousse. So it's down to your decision. If you do want a thick chocolate mousse that will set, use the electric whisk. Otherwise, just use your spatula and just slowly fold it.
It looks really fun. So how would I serve this, Stevie?
I love to serve this with either fresh fruit or else with anything crunchy. So if you had some toasted nuts or some granola or anything like that would work beautiful.
Beautiful. So just in a Sunday dish as individual portions. Beautiful.
So I'm going to keep this light, and as this cools, this will harden and become super light and fluffy. But look at that, just how light.
Look at that. It just sits beautifully in the fork. Oh. I don't think you need to tell anyone what they need to do with that. Like, that's just yum.
That's just light and fluffy chocolate.
Wow.
In a time when most people are deficient in fiber, eating more beans is so good for your microbiome, your immune system, your brain health, every aspect of your body.
That was 3 simple ways of using chickpeas. Like, obviously, there's a million different ways, but these are 3 simple ways which we consistently do. The toasted chickpeas, a chickpea chocolate mousse, which is actually really quite ingenious. Yeah, we're geniuses.
And then we have a chickpea tuna salad, which is actually really, really delicious. So let us know what you would pick. We're the Happy Pear, we're Steve and Dave. Our mission is to help you eat more veg so that you be healthier and happier.
So yeah, let us know down below what you like to do with chickpeas. Let's share ideas, let's get a conversation going around it, and thank you so much for watching.
What would you pick?
Chocolate mousse every day of the week.
I'm gonna go with this. Anyway, thanks
They're
for
all
watching.
really good. Like, it's surprising. The chocolate mousse was delicious, but like hummus is what I eat every day. The toasted chickpeas I make regularly, and this tuna salad, chickpea tuna, is amazing. So they all have their merits. You let us know in the comments and let us know what we forgot, and send loads of love. Cheers, bye.